I've been playing Back 4 Blood for a while now, and the question that's always come through my mind is, which bolt-action sniper is actually better? The Barrett or the Phoenix? And I've realized that there's a lot of math involved here, and there's a lot of stipulations. And for those of you who just want a quick answer, it depends. And I know that sounds like quite a cop-out, but it really does depend on scenario, what the director throws at you, and honestly, your personal preference. But for the rest of this video, I'm going to go through the math and some of the numbers behind both of these sniper rifles, using both the Back 4 Blood wiki, Excel document that I found pretty useful, and also some tests I've done through playing in both Recruit and Veteran, because testing a Nightmare actually makes me want to die. Firstly, we're going to look at the Phoenix common variation, and as we can see, at a 10 meter mark it does 90 damage, at an 18 meter mark it does 88, and at a 50 meter mark it does 65 damage. Testing its rate of fire, we can see that it can unload its whole magazine in 4.14 seconds. This does check out with what the Back 4 Blood wiki says about its rate of fire, so another reason why we're going to kind of trust the numbers that this wiki gives us. Next up is the Barrett, and we can see here at 10 meters it's 120, at 18 meters it's 117.4, and at 50 meters it is 86.7. And now doing a full mag dump, we see we unload an entire magazine, no attachments, in just over 7 seconds. And we see here that it is pretty similar to what the wiki has. What all this means is we have the duality of a slower, harder hitting sniper, which is the Barrett, and the quicker, a little less damage Phoenix. And now then, let's finally get into, does this matter? Does this fire rate, does this firepower actually matter in the grand scheme of things? And there's going to be a lot of different things we're going to be looking at here. First up, we're going to look at the damage drop-off. So how much damage do you lose as you hit targets farther away? Because as a sniper, you kind of want to be in the back. And surprisingly, both the Barrett and the Phoenix both have a maximum drop-off at 50 meters of 38%. So in this regard, both snipers are exactly the same. You're losing the exact same amount of damage. Next up is probably the most important factor, is the rarity of the guns you find during your campaign, during your act. If you are holding a Phoenix that is uncommon and you find a Barrett that is epic, you should 100% change. Because as we can see for these two statistics, the damage change between uncommon, common, epic, and rare are massive, right? And it begs the question, okay, well, say I have an epic Phoenix and I find an epic Barrett, should I still switch? And to do that, I've crunched some of the numbers here for these guys, and from a common standpoint, the damage change is only 30 damage. So with the fire rate involved, that one is more negligible whether you want to switch. Same thing with the uncommon. It's still only 36 damage, right? Nothing to write home about. You could probably get away with the idea that slower rate of fire is worse than higher rate of fire. But once we hit the rare and epic, our damage difference almost doubles to what it was. From rare, from the Phoenix to the Barrett, it's 50 damage a shot. That is very impressive, and it even gets worse with the epic of 69.5, almost 70 damage more. So if you're kind of looking at this, should you switch epic to epic, rare to rare? It's a toss-up, but definitely from rare to epic, or from uncommon to rare, or any bump in the rarity, you should 100% take it, because that flat damage buff is just so worth it. Back 4 Blood isn't like Left 4 Dead. We can't just look at the weapon itself. We have to look at the second most important thing, and that's the attachments that we throw on the weapon or that come with it when you buy in the store. As we see in the clip below, we see I have an epic Barrett, but because of the attachment it has, right, it has that broken stock, it has no magazine, no barrel attachment, that epic Phoenix is a lot more appealing to me because I don't have to try and find attachments in the level or buy them. I just buy the gun and I get going. Attachments should we be looking out for? And obviously as a sniper, you want to maximize damage, right? So we're looking for epic P ammo, you know, giving us that 15% bullet damage. Even rare is also really well. The stumble isn't as good because most zombies are going to either die in one shot or get stumbled. Reekers, perfect example, they will always get stumbled by your Barrett or your Phoenix. Next up, we're looking for the extended PMag. That one, just extra damage as well as magazine size. Or we're looking for the extend fast mag, because again, the idea is the faster you can fire these rounds, the more damage you're getting out. And then for our scopes, personally, I like going for the ACOG scopes. The 2x gives you that good 15% weak spot damage, and it's not too hard to see out of. I find the 4x scope can be a little difficult. Definitely don't go for reflex or hollow sights, because you really want that weak point damage, because that's what you're aiming for most of the time. And then finally for stocks, if you're not running Jim, which you really should because of his passive and his other abilities, you kind of want the ADS speed. The swap speed is good if you've kind of messed up in a pinch, but ADS speed's a lot easier for you to get those snapshots. The light competition stock is better, or best as you were, but anything that is swap speed or ADS speed will probably be fine for you. Our second last point we're going to talk about is, of course, the deck, the more unique part of this game, and mainly we're kind of focusing on weak point damage with Hyper Focus, Relentless Strategy, Ridden Slayer, right? We're looking at ADS speed with Steady Aim and Tunnel Vision, and then just as much damage as you can throw in there. So Stock Pouch, Silver Bullets, Combat Training, larger caliber, all this stuff is going to give us extra damage that we can use to one-shot a lot of mutations. And I kind of lied, we're also going to look at our cleaners. Firstly, Jim, S rank for this build because of his passive and his ability. If you can't get Jim, next up is Walker for that 10% damage, can really help you out in a pinch. And if both Jim and Walker are taken, obviously we have to go with just the best cleaner in the game, Doc, for that healing. Then the last thing I want to talk about is something you can't really quantify with numbers or statistics, is kind of personal preference and how you feel when you use it. Because at the end of the day, you know, we out here to have fun, right? And if you really enjoy the Barrett's just hard-hitting sound, or the Phoenix's more almost like CSGO Scout-like quality, that's entirely up to you. And the numbers aren't going to dictate whether you enjoy one way or another. And there's also the idea of skill. And I think that the Phoenix has a more forgiving skill floor, where if you miss your shot, you're very easily able to rectify that with another quick shot. You can see in the video in the background, sometimes I might miss a shot or two, but I'm able to quickly readjust and fire again. Well, with the Barrett, once you miss that shot, you're kind of out of commission for about a minute, almost a minute and a half. And in that time, you know, the tall boy could get in, do a few swings, deal some damage, right? Because at the end of the day, both these snipers with all these builds, especially with Jim, are going to one-shot. Or at least two-shot tall boys. Reeker's 100% one-shot, and the Horker, Stalker, 100% one-shot, without a doubt. When I said in the beginning of the video, it depends. It really does depend on a lot of things. And so closing out for here, always look at rarity, attachments, and your own personal playstyle. You see in the video, I switch out the Phoenix, or the Barrett for the Phoenix, because I like the Phoenix more. I like that quick shooting. I like sitting in a hallway or a doorway, just crouching down, not even scoping, and just firing shots. And so it really does depend on what you want to use. Because at the end of the day, both snipers are pretty negligible in their differences.